Are we being unfair to male narcissists? Now, sometimes people ask this question. I had this question come up a couple times in a live event. I wanted to address this and a couple other questions concerning male narcissists and how this actually shakes out. Now, if you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a narcissist, and I'm on this channel to provide awareness about narcissistic abuse, what it looks like, how it correlates, like the stuff that you're going through that makes you feel crazy. And you notice on a lot of my videos, I talk specifically to a certain audience because that's where I come from. I come from being a male narcissist, of knowing, hey, this is how I act, this is how I respond, this is what I know best. I don't really know the other aspects of the female side of narcissism. Does it look the same? Yes, in a lot of ways. Are the traits the same? Yes, a lot of ways. But I don't speak from that because I don't speak from a position of authority on that subject, but I do know who I am. I didn't for a long period of time. And a lot of times I have been on this channel to try to let people know what it actually looks like, how it actually shows up in your life, in the abusive relationship that you're in the emotional manipulation that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So we're going to dive into the topic of male narcissists. And this question that sometimes people ask of like, wait a second, are you being unfair? Or are you promoting a stigma against these type of people? I don't think that I am. I think that I'm on this channel to try to let people know. And some of it is just sharing my own experiences. Sometimes it sounds a little bit different, it's phrased a different way, but I'm trying to give different examples and ideas of this is what has happened in my life. And this is the shit that I've caused. And these are the things that I've broken, that I've hurt. So let's talk about this topic a little bit about are we being unfair to male narcissists? So we've got a couple questions that we're going to talk about today. Okay, first one is, how do I think that the media and popular culture portray male narcissists, and does this affect public perception of them? Okay, so kind of a loaded question. So first I'm going to go through just a little bit of the aspect of culture. I think culture has been creating narcissists for a good period of time. And culture is going to continue creating narcissists based on the culture that we currently have today. The family structure that we have today, the disconnected parents. All that we're doing is just going to produce more and more entitlement, more and more people that think they can get what they want, and that it could continue moving forward in the culture of being very narcissistic. If anything, I guess you could say this is like job security, because it's only going to get worse. I don't see a big turn of people understanding it to a place where they actually do something about it. The impact that we have, even though it's big on a lot of social media platforms, is still quite small when we think of the entire planet and what's actually happening worldwide. So culture, I'm talking about this really quick. We switched years ago from society being different and the family system being different than what it used to be. And it used to be that the whole family grew up together, that there was things that happened in the family dynamic that actually had both mom and dad present in the culture to be able to help the kids grow, mature, develop, all these things. Oftentimes there would be different apprenticeships, different things that the dad would teach the son or the mom would teach the daughter. All these things would get taught in the relationship there. And then we started to change. We started to switch into more of the industrial age where the father figure was out of the house more and more. As a result, leaving a lot of times the men and the boys to start to wonder how to actually show up, how to actually be the person that they're supposed to be or that they're called to be. And as a result, it started to produce this disconnect of boys not understanding how to become men, of them not seeing it modeled because all they saw was on a day-to-day basis that father figure get disconnected. Now, is that the sole reason for narcissism? No, not at all. There's a ton more things. But part of that has perpetuated the disintegration of families and promoted more of the aspect of narcissism, of them being disconnected, of actually knowing how to be able to live in a healthy way, how to be able to process things in a healthy way. Our society as well has gone through wars and revolutions and big things that have really messed up the mindset of emotion. And so as a result, there's more of a disconnect. And men were taught to go into war and shoot and kill people and say, hey, that's not okay, but hey, don't deal with it. Don't focus on that. And PTSD started in rampant with different wars to be able to put people in a place of just closing off their feelings and compartmentalizing. So that's just kind of a little bit of background that I want to be able to talk about. Okay, but how do I think the media and popular culture portrays male narcissists? Okay, there's a lot of times that they're glorified. There's a lot of times that they look like the best person ever because they're making the money, because they look so good in society, because they've been at a certain level. But when we talk about this aspect of narcissists and how like public perception looks, there's a big piece that gets put on display of like, look what's going on. Now, the thing is, a lot of narcissists get pissed off about that, of like, I don't want to show my dirty laundry. I don't want to look bad in public. Well, this is part of the problem. Like when you're put out in public, that's what's going to happen. Like for me, I decided when I got on social media, like I'm going to put out all my dirty laundry. Like you can come at me all you want, but I'm just being honest of, hey, this is who I am. This is what's happening. Okay? And so this is one aspect of dealing with male narcissists and what this looks like. So second question, how do you think society's expectations, okay, norms around masculinity and male behavior may contribute to the development or the reinforcement of narcissistic traits in some men? So talked about that a little bit as far as like society and how that's changing. I think a big piece right now is in parenting. Like we're going to see more and more narcissists over the next couple generations because of the fact that parents are not showing up for their kids to help them emotionally and mentally mature. Instead, that's getting passed off to other educational systems. Instead, that's getting passed off to other people. Instead, that's getting passed off or just shunned to the side than actually dealing with it. A lot of times it's because the parents don't even know how to deal with themselves, because they weren't raised in a way to be able to handle problems emotionally, mentally, and actually work through things in a healthy environment. So everything gets kind of pushed to the side. Society is going to keep producing a lot of this aspect of male narcissists because of what we breed already as a society of a sense of entitlement. Think that we're entitled to everything. We're entitled to what we want, when we want it, how we want it, no matter what. And that is a pervasive in a lot of the society, not just in specifically narcissistic abuse. Now, there's also this aspect of masculinity. And I'm not going to get into a whole rabbit trail of that, but there's a big aspect that a narcissist oftentimes looks like like an asshole. Like they look like the biggest jerk in the room. And people normally look at that and be like, that's masculinity. That's not what I want. Instead of just understanding that as a man, you need to show up in your relationships. Let's talk about this real quick. A lot of times people think that a narcissist is someone that looks good and is abusing and all these things, and it's 100% true. But what does a man actually look like? What is healthy masculinity actually look like? Because when it comes down to it, like the man in your life needs to show up. Now, what I mean by showing up is meaning that he actually cares about you. He's actually willing to not just like go to work and help provide for you and the family, or you might already be providing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. But at the end of the day, he needs to show up as a man. So he needs to provide. Okay. But that is just the base level. When I talk about show up, it means he needs to show up for your feelings, for your emotions. He needs to learn how to create space to be able to handle you at your best and to be able to handle you at your worst. He needs to be able to engage with you in a loving and healthy collision and conversation and conflict, and to walk out on the other side with you being okay. Not shoving it under the rug, not putting it to the side, but saying, hey, I'm in this with you. Let's work on this problem that we're having some conflict on. As a man in a relationship, he needs to be showing up in a healthy way as an example for the kids. As a person who is showing, hey, I'm loving your mom. I am being respectful to her. I am being honest in my communication to her, to the kids, to others. I'm being loyal and not running around when that's not the agreed upon arrangement. Like there's all these different pieces that people are like, wait a second, the narcissist, that's awful. That's this toxic masculinity. At the end of the day, it's not masculinity at all. A narcissist is just a coward, and a cheater, and a liar. And they're unwilling to actually create space for you, for your emotions, for your feelings. So, kind of going back a little bit to the original question, are we being unfair to male narcissists? No, I don't think so at all. You're either an asshole or you're a man. You're either a coward or you're a man. You're either a liar or you're not a liar. You're either a cheater or you're not a cheater. Like, this is why I deal with facts. I don't mess around with a lot of other pieces. I just deal with the facts. Are you who you say you are? Are you doing what you say you're going to do? If you're not, you're incongruent. You are a liar. And most people don't like to hear that. Most people don't want to see that in their life. All right, so third question here. Do I believe that male narcissists face discrimination or unfair treatment in society? If so, can you provide some examples? I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so at all, so I can't really provide any examples. I think if you're a liar, if you're a cheater, like if you're not being honest to the people around you, if you're not actually showing up healthy, growing, changing, healing, then it doesn't really matter. What matters at that point is you're just being a toxic asshole. Okay? There's a couple things you need to understand when we talk about narcissistic abuse and we talk about being with a narcissist. The label doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, you either have someone in your life that is helping you grow, heal, change, and develop, or you have someone in life that is pulling you down time after time. At the end of the day, a man that shows up in your life and just provides and expects you to be thankful for that and expects that he's entitled to your body, to you, and to being able to do whatever he wants is not a man at all. It's a boy in a larger body that thinks he's entitled to you and thinks he's entitled to other people and thinks he's entitled to do what he wants versus actually being a healthy contributor to the conversation of the relationship, of the marriage, of the partnership, whatever it might be. So do I think we're being unfair towards male narcissists? No, I don't think so at all. I think you either step up, own your shit, and change, or get out of the relationship.